Hello everyone, my name is Jordan, also known as X-3. Today I want to show you guys how to create the sour can. The only thing I would say about this synth is that it's a staccato, high-pitch ringing pluck. I'll play that with the demo example here in a few seconds, and then I'll show you guys how to create this wonderful technique. And then after that, I'm going to show you guys another growl later on. So stay tuned for that. Anyways, here is what the sour can sounds like. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is throw in a blank instance of Combinator. After this, I want to throw in a blank instance of Thor. Then, I'm going to hit Show Programmer, so that way we can view our synths, our filters, our delay, amp envelope, and that's pretty much it. We don't mess with any of the routings down here. So for my first oscillator, I'm going to change it to a wavetable. I'm going to change it to 16th harmonics. And for the position, we're going to change this to 16. So it's at 24, just take it down 8. So 16 right there. And we're going to take it up 1 octave. And we're going to make sure, okay, so that's routed. Second oscillator, we're going to change to a wavetable. I want to take it up 1 octave. I'm sorry, we're going to take it up 2 octaves. And I'm going to change my wave type to 10 sines. For the position, I leave it as is. And make sure it's routed to filter 1. My final oscillator is another wavetable. We're taking this back up 2 octaves. And we select the type to be a didgeridoo. The position needs to be at halfway, so about 64, 65, within that range. And make sure it's routed to filter 1. Make sure filter 2 is routed out, just in case one sound doesn't sound pronounced enough. So I'm going to set my filter frequency 1 to 946 kilohertz. I'm sorry, what I do with this is I throw my frequency up all the way. It's a very high pitch noise, but that's pretty much all we do for that. Anyways, I'm going to throw on my delay, and for the dry wet, I want to take that down to about 18. For the time, I take that down to 283 milliseconds. Alright, and for the feedback, I also take that down to about 30. For the rate and everything else, I just take it a little bit more down. For the amp envelope, I want to take my decay and sustain all the way down. I'm going to put up my attack to about 40.7 milliseconds. And for my release, I changed this to 884 hertz. I'm sorry, 884 milliseconds. Like I said, if you can't get those fine numbers, just hold shift. There we go. And now let's have a listen. If it sounds like it's still a little too out of place, you can always turn up the attack a little bit more. So 99 milliseconds sounds correct. So I'm just going to close this up to save our CPU a little bit more processing power. I'm then going to throw on pulverizer and tidy up our synth a little bit more. So I'm going to turn my squash to about 24%. I'm going to set the filter type to a high pass. and set the frequency all the way to about 109.8 hertz. That's pretty much all we do it for the pulverizer. So that's it. Next, I'm gonna throw on, from my creative effects, a BV 512 vocoder, set it to equalize, and set it to 4 bands. Turn up the shift by 36. Positive 36. Then, if you want, you can do this 2 ways. You can either throw on the echo, set the time all the way down, keep pitch on, turn off sync, and set the right channel offset to 8 milliseconds. If you want a little bit more widening, you can go to 16 milliseconds. So it's just a hair widen. If you don't have the echo, you can always do the same thing with a unison and a digital delay line. For the unison, all you need to do is take the dry wet down to about 9, take the detune up to 55, and for the digital delay line, set it to milliseconds, and you want this to be 70 or 71. 80 is too much, and even 79 is a little too much as well. So I'm taking the feedback down to about 12, and then dry wet, I want to take that down to 12 as well. So it's like that same widening effect. It just, you gotta play around with the feedback and the dry wet to get it perfect. But that's essentially what that same widening technique is. So I'm just gonna browse on over to a preset I already have. I'm gonna set it to 16 wide. Nothing wrong with that. Anyways, if you don't already have it, make sure keep pitch is turned on so that way it doesn't go out of detune when we play a note. Let's see if I play it. I don't know. I guess that only has to do with the actual delay effect. Next, I'm gonna throw on a RV7000 Advanced Reverb. Yes, we do use a preset, and it's gonna be all treetops. I want to take my decay down to about 9, and my dry wet, I'm gonna throw that up by like 3 or 2. 5. That's still pretty good. Anyways, I want to throw on a M-class equalizer and an M-class maximizer. For the M-class equalizer, we're going to go through my parameter 1, P2, low cut, and some of the maximizer effects. So make sure to turn on low cut. For parameter 1, I'm just going to take this a hair to the right, so about 1.053 kilohertz. Take the gain all the way down, Q all the way up. For the second parameter, I'm going to turn it on and set it to 647 hertz. Take the gain all the way down, Q all the way up. If you want, this is totally optional, but you can turn on the high shelf, set the frequency all the way up, turn the gain to 1.1, and turn the Q all the way up. So that way it gives us a nice crisper effect. For really some of the highs and mid highs, that's what this synth is really here to achieve. Next, take off limiter, put release to auto, turn on soft clip, and set the amount to 100. Thanks for joining me, and from now, you've just created the Sour Can synth. Have a wonderful day. I'll check you guys out tomorrow. I'm going to be doing some Adobe tutorials, so stay tuned for that as well. And I'll check you guys out later on Tumblr, Twitter, and have a great day. Have a great chill day. Yeah. Peace.